As the winter kind of slowly sets in where you are, is it getting busier, less busy? What's the general trend?
I'd say things are getting busier for us right now. I think advisors are, kind of gearing up for the start of 2026 and trying to get their ducks in order, trying to get their CRM set up and ready to go into a strong 2026. And especially with the rise of AI and all the new tools, they're finding that they need that strong foundation in their CRM before they can start implementing this stuff.
We've been in the industry for 19 years. And I think the last 9 years as a consultant running your own firm as well. So tell us a little bit about that journey, how you got into this space.
The even longer story is I've been in this industry since birth because my father is a CFP and a CPA, and he was one of the very first kind of fee-only firms around where we lived in Richmond, Virginia. He wanted me to be a financial planner. But I started doing trading, but I really found my stride in technology. We implemented Salesforce in 2009. It transformed how we did business. We were able to serve our clients better, but also it transformed how we work together with each other inside the firm. So I got excited about how this transformed our business. And I was like, I bet I can help other advisors with this. So the last 9 years, I've been helping financial advisors with my little nerdy excitement with this.
But what's a good example, or what are some visible signs that people are using it well?
Yeah, they're using it well. I would say that they are living in their CRM, that all of their users are in there, all of their clients are in there, and that they're not relying on outside spreadsheets to track things. They're not going to the custodians to look for phone numbers, that they're really using this as their central hub. Maybe they have their portfolio management system integrated, but really this is their main source of information about all the ways that they serve their client.
There's a lot of talk of AI. We're building an AI now. So, and not everything needs to start and end with AI. CRMs also have evolved. In your view, where do you see the future as the CRM? Or think about it as what's lacking today, what could be plugged with technology? If you had some thoughts, enough to kind of get that. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining us today on AdvisorAlly.
Thanks for having me, Vineet. I've been looking forward to this.
Yes, I know I have a lot of interesting questions in my head. I've written it down, so I'm looking forward to the fun conversation. But I know you were briefly talking about it as the winter kind of slowly sets in where you are. Is it getting busier, less busy? What's the general trend as far as business is concerned?
Yeah, I'd say things are getting busier for us right now. I think advisors are, kind of gearing up for the start of 2026 and trying to get their ducks in order, trying to get their CRM set up and ready to go into a strong 2026. And especially with the rise of AI and all the new tools, they're finding that they need that strong foundation in their CRM before they can start implementing this stuff. So I'm seeing people starting to get organized.
Very cool, very cool. And we'll talk a lot more about that. But before we get into business any further, one thing, I always like to kind of start with the journey. And obviously, listen, we've been in the industry for 19 years. And I think the last 9 years as a consultant running your own firm as well. So tell us a little bit about that journey, how you got into this space and what led to your setting up Balanced Rock solutions.
Yeah. So the even longer story is I've been in this industry since birth because my father is a CFP and a CPA, and he was one of the very first kind of fee-only firms around where we lived in Richmond, Virginia. And then after college, I went and worked for him, and he wanted me to be a financial planner. But I started doing trading, but I really found my stride in technology. And I found that I was really kind of obsessed with efficiency and making systems work and fitting all the pieces of the puzzle together. And we implemented Salesforce in 2009. We'd gone from a real clunky system act. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that old system. But when we moved to Salesforce, it transformed how we did business. We were able to serve our clients better, but also it transformed how we worked together with each other inside the firm. It improved communication. And then, all of a sudden, it felt like everybody in the firm had a little bit more vested interest in the company. We all had more visibility into the people that we were actually helping and serving. And so instead of just kind of names and account numbers, it felt like it all came together. So, even the girl at the front desk answering the phone, felt more connected to what we were actually doing for all these folks. So I got excited about how this transformed our business. And I was like, I bet I can help other advisors with this. So the last 9 years, I've been helping financial advisors with my little nerdy excitement with this.
No, that's cool. The excitement clearly shows. And I didn't realize that this, advisory was in your blood in some ways, or the industry. That's an amazing origin story. I know the last 9 years that you've kind of gone from strength to strength with your firm. And you talk about with Salesforce, and I think you are very much focused on Salesforce and overlays of Salesforce, right? And I also know that you do various things with firms. There's implementation, there's optimization, there's administration, there's training. What takes up most of your time? Is there one bucket, or is it all kind of fairly?
Yeah, I would really say the optimization. Training is a part of everything, but I would say most advisors are coming to us saying, "Hey, we've made this significant investment into our CRM. We don't have all of our advisors using it. We feel like we're not getting the most out of it, or we certainly should be getting more than what we are right now." And so we're kind of taking them through an optimization where we're helping them make sure they have clean data, that they have the reports and dashboards that they need. We're building out business processes. And then once they feel like they're in a good kind of stable place going, all right, this is great. This is capturing how we run our business. Then they're going down to more of a lower tier engagement with us, which is where we're their outsourced admin. And one of the good things and bad things about Salesforce is it grows with your business. It's constantly changing, but you have to have somebody managing this, somebody that can update fields, update reports. And it doesn't always make sense for someone to keep an in-house person doing that, trying to keep up with all Salesforce's updates. And so folks are relying on us as their outsourced admin, and just, someone in their back pocket that they can call, like, what's going on here? This isn't working, or we need to change. And they're
Right.
coming to us for that.
Understood. And I know you and I have spoken about this before as well, but that makes total sense. And it also goes back to the point about, someone else made this point about CRMs, that a lot of people just use it as a digital Rolodex, but you can actually do a lot more.
Yes.
So that's the point you're making, right? You might have implemented and you're probably underutilizing it. So that's where optimization comes up. But also, you've worked with several firms and I know you told me before that you work with, a range of firms from so many advisors to so many advisors. But what's a good example, or what are some visible signs that, people are using it well when you walk in?
Yeah, they're using it well. I would say that they are living in their CRM, that all of their users are in there, all of their clients are in there, and that they're not relying on outside spreadsheets to track things. They're not going to the custodians to look for phone numbers, that they're really using this as their central hub. Maybe they have their portfolio management system integrated, but really this is their main source of information about all the ways that they serve their client. And then really the next level of folks I'm seeing are the ones that are utilizing the business processes and the automations, and really using these tools to help them prepare for meetings, pull in the information for meetings, create automated tasks to follow up after the meetings, and really taking advantage of these automations and
Right.
multi-step processes.
So essentially, there's a plethora of things that you could do from the CRM. People who are kind of utilizing it the most and effectively, people who you think are the kind of folks who are using it well. And in your experience, for those firms, the CRM is really the kind of the first or the primary tool, right? You would think.
Yes.
Kind of feeding in and out in many ways.
Exactly. Exactly. I like to see everything, yep, with that as the center, and then maybe the other pieces touch. But really, if you
Got
want to
it.
know something about your client, you know exactly where to go, which is your CRM.
Understood. And now let's take on the flip side, when you go in and everything's messy, what are some of the common things that you see that you feel like, okay, this needs to be fixed immediately, or
Yeah, I would
yeah.
say number one is I always go in and do an assessment of the data and see these are the fields that you say are important: your client segmentation, your primary, secondary advisor, your client services team. I look for places where they have holes in their data and they're entering it inconsistently, or perhaps are even keeping it in an outside spreadsheet. And that's where we want to come in and help them get that data in there clean. And some of that's cleanup projects, and some of that is data validation rules, putting requirements on fields or setting it up that you can only enter certain values in this field if this is the segmentation. And really, I when they don't have these parameters in place, people are just putting anything in the system. We have a lot of unused fields, underutilized objects, and I like to go in there and really clean that stuff up and make it so the page is just intuitive for the advisors and client services team to enter information in, and people aren't going to use it if it's too clunky and it's a mess and they don't know what to enter and where. And so that's my first check: is the users logging in, and are all your clients in there with all of the data points that you told me are important.
Got it. And I think the point you made about it being intuitive, and if people are actually using it, then it must be working for them. If they have
Yes.
if they have a spreadsheet on the side, then that's definitely not a good sign. Never mind, you have a CRM. So I think a few telltale signs that you kind of mentioned there. I also see, there's a lot of talk of AI. We're building an AI now. So I mean, and not everything needs to start and end with AI. But CRMs also have evolved and progressed, right? And I know we have all been part of some of these LinkedIn threads as well, where we've discussed this at length. But in your view, where do you see the future as the CRM? Or maybe we could even think about it as what's lacking today, what could be plugged with technology. If you had some thoughts, I'd love to kind of hear that.
Yeah, I think, I still see the CRM as your hard base of your clients, and having all of your processes documented and seeing exactly what's going on and where, and being able to reference that. And what I see is kind of the hard copy of what you've built for your internal business processes live in action in your CRM. So I still see it as a foundation there. I think the AI tools will be huge in adding to what's already in there, putting data in places that we can kick off business workflows from. And I lost my train of thought there. But I think just more seamless integrations. A lot of things say they integrate, but putting information in the right places that advisors can use it there.
And I think this is probably kind of where you were going also, like not just being a system of record, but almost like a system of action, right? Because right now,
Yes.
someone's got to, I know you were showing, you were talking about this at some point as well, like how people have to go in and they start a workflow or complete a task, complete a step, etc. And a lot of those things could automatically be triggered with the right set of tools, either inside the CRM or a tool that integrates with the CRM.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I also feel like, I mean, CRM, obviously people take notes and put it in the CRM. But a lot of other interactions or knowledge about your prospects and clients that are out there, right? Your LinkedIn, social media, text messaging, etc. I think perhaps there's an opportunity for some of that information also to be brought to one place. Uh,
Exactly. Really looking at those outside spreadsheets, those outside systems, and what can be pulled in a meaningful way.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I think, the big debate in many ways is it the CRM that's going to expand and do more, or will it be AI tools or that
Taking
almost act as
over.
as an overlay to not just the CRM but some of the other systems as well. And And we're seeing different iterations of that, right? In many ways, obviously there are players who are integrating with CRMs, but then also CRMs who have their own AI modules built in. And Salesforce has something. I know Webbox came up with an paper recently, but exciting.
It is. It's exciting times.
Yeah, I mean, in your interactions with clients, does that also come up as a topic these days in terms of how they can leverage technology, AI, etc.?
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of chomping at the bit and excited about the possibilities. And, people have tested out the meeting note takers and are excited about solutions for, the form filling and all this stuff that's so hard to get information from clients, and where the errors are really occurring in that onboarding process, which is so important because that's when you're creating that first impression. And so if we can streamline the technical piece of that, I think that could be a game changer for folks.
Right. And I guess that's the problem statement a lot of folks are trying to solve for. And I think AI as a technology is also a lot more meaningful now, where it can attempt to solve for some of that. So yeah, we'll see how that space evolves. I did have a question for you specific to Salesforce, actually, because obviously when you talk to RIAs, there is a threshold or there's a specific profile of an RIA that starts adopting Salesforce. Because a lot of the smaller RIAs, perhaps, I don't know if smaller by AUM is the right way to categorize it, but they tend to use, say, other CRMs in the market, right? Your Redtail, the Wealth Boxes of the world. If there are RIAs out there thinking about whether they should look at Salesforce or not, what would be a good?
Yeah. You nailed it. I think Wealthbox and Redtail and some of the other CRMs are perfectly fine for most firms, and if you can fit your firm in that box, then it's going to take care of your needs. But what Salesforce is so different is that it can be fully customized to your individual business and your unique needs, your unique niche, how you're servicing your clients in the way that you want to. And it's a difficult task because you kind of have to sit down with someone that understands what Salesforce is capable of and understands your business needs, and being able to kind of marry the two. But I'm seeing it more, and yeah, you said AUM, but I'm seeing it's more the number of people on your team. And I'm working with folks, typically, the smallest is probably 5 users. And then, I like working with the 5 to 35 users, but it's great for the big organizations as well, because it's really the piece that ties in all the different business processes, that ties in all the different humans to each other. And, you can really get a snapshot of everything that's going on to your unique business in the way that you want to see it, rather than the way the software is designed for you to see it.
Got it. And I guess that's where working with someone like you who has experience across firms and has done this several times really helps. And a follow-up question to that would be, when firms do adopt Salesforce, is it largely to kind of optimize or bring in efficiencies, or is it because they want to grow and Salesforce helps them with that better, or is it both?
Yeah, I would say both. It's one way to really define all those business processes, get them automated, and really take some of the admin work out of the stuff that bogs us down every day, and get it in a system that is kind of handling that for you, so that they're able to take care of their clients better or get home to their family sooner, whatever that means to them.
Understood. Awesome. No, I learned a lot about Salesforce and CRMs in general. That also, I think, Stephanie, it'll be an interesting few months and years ahead, right, to see where the technology landscape takes us. Some great early adoption of new technology is out there for everyone to see. So thank you so much for sharing these insights. But maybe one non-business question to end the episode. If you're not, working on Salesforce or talking to your client, what keeps you happy outside of work? I know you have a young child as well, but
sure, yeah. So I spend a lot of time on the computer, but really my favorite place to be is out in the woods. And I would say hiking is my favorite hobby. When I was in Colorado, I was living out in the mountains, an hour to the closest town, and I could hike in my backyard, and just getting out and being in nature, whether it's biking or kayaking or hiking, is really my happy place. And I like to balance that with my computer time.
Sounds good. And here's to more hikes and time in the woods. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Really enjoyed the conversation. Until next time.
Thank you, Vineet. It's great to see you.